Attention, ladies and gentlemen, Gungans and droids. This is your Grand Admiral Arnold, director of the Video Gaming Division here at the Galactic Empire, and I'm happy to present one of the most popular series in Galaxy of Heroes coming back for the beginning of 2020, and that is ranking all of the characters in Galaxy of Heroes from the very best to the very worst, or as we like to call it here, from Grandmaster to Youngling. I want to thank you guys so much for liking and supporting the last one. In August 2019, we got over 125,000 views and over 4,000 likes. Thank you all so much for the support, and I'm so glad you're enjoying it. Come on in. There's plenty of space on the deadliest and biggest starter store the galaxy's ever known. Let's go over to the command station, ladies and gentlemen. So how about we get this started by showing you what August 2019 looked like when we made this video last time, and then I'm just gonna cut to the chase and show you what January 2020 is looking like to kick us off in this brand new year. And why don't we start up at the bottom of the barrel, the Youngling category. Now, just a quick reminder how this works. This table is meant to rank all the characters from best to worst in their standalone all-around viability, but this game is getting heavily progressed towards team synergy. So when put into the right teams, a lot of these characters can bump up a couple categories, which will be denoted by +1, +2, +3, whatever the number might be. So starting off in the Youngling category, these are basically the worst of the worst characters in Galaxy of Heroes, but you can do some cute things with some of these characters to make them more viable than they could be otherwise, but still not very recommended to go for a lot of these characters. Probably a couple of the biggest examples in the Youngling category that are actually somewhat useful, things like Clone Sergeant. Now, we're not going to take ship viability into this because that would really mess things up. This is mostly PvP viability, so Squad Arena, Grand Arena, and some things like Territory Battles and the Sith Raid are kind of being put in the calculation here. But the Clone Sergeant, he's going to be not that amazing all by himself, but luckily, because there was a big move towards clone reworks, whether you go with the Shock T route or you go for the General Skywalker route, clones are becoming a lot better. So Clone Sergeant, he's a prime example of a character that's bad by himself. When you put him with the clone lineup, preferably a Shock T or Captain Rex Leader Commander Cody, the viability bumps up a little bit. Other than that, we don't need to spend too much time in here. I did give Jawas a little +1 in this slot right here. I don't recommend going for Jawas, but hypothetically, if you gear 12, gear 13, relic Jawas, they could be a soft counter to things like the Genos, which is quite an annoying team to deal with in Grand Arena. Overall, a lot of these characters don't chase after. They're not going to get you that bang of a buck in terms of PvP viability. Moving up the ranks, ladies and gentlemen, we have the Padawan. Now, things get a little bit more interesting here. You're going to find characters that could really excel, and probably some of these characters are necessary to make some of those god tier teams viable. I think the biggest example to put out here that I kind of explained last time in August is the B1 Battle Droid. By himself, you're not going to get too much out of him, Chief Keef. He's not going to really help anything else except the Separatists, which is why he's kind of in there. He still hits hard, even though he might not be with the Separatists, and he's got some cool mechanics that work in some interesting situations if you want to try to trick a Darth Revan lead and get the death mark to pop on him. Weird stuff like that, but when you put the B1 Battle Droid inside of a General Grievous or just a Separatist lineup in general, the B1 is the powerhouse engine that keeps the team alive, keeps assisting, keeps hitting hard, and you can't stop them. Let's talk about some of the new things that happen in this category. A couple of characters are moving down from the Knight category. Things like a lot of the Imperial Troopers. Imperial Troopers used to be a solid Knight team in the game, or just individually, they were all right. They kind of had some cool stuff. However, with the addition of Relics, things like Imperial Troopers are going to lose a lot of viability. They did not benefit out of Relic compared to their biggest counter they were supposed to fight, the Night Sisters. So things like Range Trooper are going to fall down a little bit. But in here, as you're going to see, there's a lot of +1s. Yes, by themselves, these characters aren't that good, but you can definitely find some homes for a lot of these characters, and which can bring them up 1 or 2 spots. Now let's move on to what really starts defining the Grand Arena space. Grand Arena is primarily defined by the Grandmaster, Master, and the Knight category, ladies and gentlemen. This is where we start seeing what really kind of makes up all those important teams in Grand Arena. You're going to see a lot of things like Night Sisters starting to pop up in here. You're going to see some things like Resistance starting to show up here, some Empire stuff that are kind of still holding on to that middle of the rung. After August 2019, when we made that video, clones got a rework, and things like Fives and Echo were slammed in the Youngling category with that little modifier to bump them up a few slots. But now, standalone viability, Echo and 5s are looking pretty solid. I would probably argue that 5s has a lot more all-around viability than Echo, because at least 5s, he hits hard, he's a pretty good all-around tank. Their kits are just vastly different than ever before, and with those +2, the +2 modifiers and things like 5s and Echo in this case are in regards to General Skywalker. General Skywalker really pulls these guys up quite a lot, and Shakti pulls them up at least one slot into the master category. Those are going to be two of the newer things, but you're going to notice some +1 modifiers were taken away. Things like Old Republic, a Karth team. In August 2019, Karth and Old Republic were definitely a solid middle to rung team that got bumped up kind of into that master category, but with the release of Relics and all the other reworks that kind of happened since then, Old Republic's not really going to get that +1 anymore. They don't really creep up into that master category, in my opinion, anymore. Very easy to deal with Karth and the Old Republic. We have 3 new additions in this slot from just the new characters released. We put Hux in here. Hux would have been a master based character, but unfortunately he was nerfed to Oblivion, so we're just kind of putting him in the middle of the rung. He is still a solid character for the First Order. And then we have Resistance Zero Fin, which is kind of a cool character. We're still going to see probably more of, because General Poe Dameron has been confirmed, and the Arc Trooper also being one of the new units. All right, character has a spawnable unit. His spawnable unit is not nearly as good as the Genos and Brood Alpha, and he doesn't have that much all-around viability compared to Genos and Brood Alpha, but you still can find some fun things to do with him. And when you put him in a Shakti General Skywalker lineup, it bumps up by at least the master category. So this should look familiar, but now when we move into the master category, you're gonna start seeing the really important characters. These are going to start being those characters that pretty much define what are the best leads for a lot of the teams you're going to be seeing out there in Grand Arena. Yes, these characters aren't probably going to be top of the arena meta per se as of now, but a lot of these characters are just kind of your staple teams you got to be looking after for, whether to counter or to have yourself in Grand Arena. We have a couple new additions in terms of modifiers. Some characters move down from the Grandmaster to the Master List. We're going to talk a couple things in regards to that, but things like Ahsoka Tano and the B2 Super Battle Droid, with the addition of Relics and General Skywalker, these characters became more important. In regards to Ahsoka Tano, she's getting that +1 because the Relics benefited her a ton. It benefited the Padme Galactic Republic team a lot, and just by herself, she's an all-around great character for Jedi, Galactic Republic. She's got a good kit. She's got a cleanse on her basic. It doesn't get much better than that, really. We have General Skywalker showing up on the list for the first time, and it's kind of funny. I had to make 2 separate spots for General Skywalker because he's a night and day difference character between the 7-star variant and the 5 and 6-star variant. And in here in the master category, you're going to see the 5 and 6-star General Skywalker. Yes, he's not as good as a 7-star. We've beaten the topic to death, but you can still find some ways to make use of him. I've used him against Relic 7 Sith Empire teams, Relic 7 General Grievous teams, but it really just comes down to relying on having a good clone team. The backup a low-star General Skywalker, still an okay character. You can find some use with. You can even throw him in like a Padme Amidala lineup like I showed you in the past. Sith Trooper is a fantastic character. I don't think I need to talk about it too much. He's got massive damage. His unique is basically kind of like General Grievous's Metalloid monstrosity, and he just hits like a truck. I'm thinking this is the character, Sith Trooper. Pay attention to this character, because I think in the future, he's probably going to see an increase in viability. Probably going to see a +1 modifier added to Sith Trooper by the time I make this video again in 3 months or so. The biggest surprise, this is probably the first time I've seen this happen ever since I started this series way back in, what was it, 2016, 2017. Commander Luke Skywalker and Han Solo, I knocked them down from the master category. But luckily, there's good news. The good news is they both get +1 modifiers. If they're put into the correct teams, they could definitely get into that Grandmaster category again. But really, standalone viability, it's not as, it's still there. That's why they're in the master category. They still have great stuff. Han Solo being able to stun at the very beginning, still going to be an important mechanic. And things like Commander Luke Skywalker, he still has a lot of great stuff in his kit. You can plug CLS and a lot of different lineups out there. But to really get the most out of these characters, you got to start pairing them with other characters. They rely heavily on things like C-3PO and Chewbacca to bump themselves back up into the Grandmaster category. You guys may have noticed our Mesothelioma Jedi Slayer is not on the list just yet. And I gotta say, although the Han and CLS thing is surprising, what is very surprising as well, that General Grievous has finally made it to the Grandmaster category. Clap it out. Clap it out. Wow, it's been quite a journey for General Grievous. Went from a garbage tier character back in the beginning of January 2019. Got a rework. Rework fell flat, was not impressive. Got a second rework, which was much better. And then on top of that, Gear 13 came, and of course, Relics came, which is the new thing that happened since August 2019. And General Grievous is the most Gear 13 and Relic character in Galaxy, and there's a lot of great reasons why. He hits hard. He makes one of the most dominant teams in the game. General Grievous probably forms, in my opinion, the third or fourth or fifth best team in Galaxy of Heroes right now. And just he works in so many different lineups. You can put him in a God tier Separatist team, or if you want to be really sneaky, working with some bad garbage droids. As long as the droids are dying off, your Grievous is going to keep getting turns, be the last one standing, and hitting your enemies hard. I see a lot of people in the lower divisions of Grand Arena take advantages. They might not have a big roster, but they just got to put random droids in there, have a decent Grievous, and they're going to get a couple defensive wins, because for lower division players, it's hard to take out General Grievous properly. We have the 7-star General Skywalker. Big difference. I showed you the other day when I finally got him to 7 stars earlier this week. You can full auto Sith Empire teams at Relic 7 with the 7-star General Skywalker. That is the power difference between his 5-6-star Skywalker and a 7-star Skywalker. So he is pretty big. And if you want to throw him in other type of lineups, as I said, you could hypothetically put him with Padme, but if you have a 7-star Skywalker, most likely you're going to be using him with the 501st characters. But the 2 new characters that really got big bumps this year, starting in 2020, Wat Tambor and Captain Rex. Captain Rex, he was already a master character before his rework. He had a great leadership, mass cleanse, you couldn't go wrong. They kept that with his rework, and they amplified him even more, where now he definitely is a super deadly character with his aerial advantage, him being so fast. With this new reworked unique ability, you can't go wrong. Whether or not you use him in a Shock T lineup, General Skywalker lineup, or if you don't have either of those characters, you could just do a Captain Rex lead with things like Echo, 5s, throw in R2-D2 and Ahsoka Tano. You got yourself a pretty deadly team right there. Things like Commander Luke Skywalker are scared of a lineup like that, because if you can't take out Captain Rex first, because you have to go after 5s first because of his sacrifice mechanic, Captain Rex is going to get aerial advantages off before you finally get to him. And Wat Tambor, arguably the most versatile all-around plug-and-play character, beautifully and geniusly designed in 2019. We had him in the Master category, but since then we found so many fun ways to take advantage of this character. Throw him in a Padme lineup, throw him in a Galactic Republic lineup, throw him in a General Skywalker lineup, throw him in a Sith Empire lineup, throw him in a Grievous lineup, throw him in a, I don't know, a Scoundrel lineup, throw him in a Newt lineup. There are so many ways to use Wat Tambor. He unlocks a lot of secret capabilities and a lot of characters up. And ladies and gentlemen, with that said, that is going to be your January 2020 all characters ranked video, from best to worst. And now that we laid out everything, looking at this list, I think the big thing that's kind of obvious is things like the Rebellion and the Empire are definitely falling down in viability in Galaxy of Heroes. So if I had to guess, maybe by the next time we make this list, or sometime this year in 2020, we're probably bound to see things like First Order, Resistance, Empire, and Rebellion probably improve in a lot of viability. And hopefully things like Mace Windu and some other Clone Wars stuff falling back in there in the Padawan and Youngling category get bumped up as well. So hopefully you did enjoy the video. Comment down below on your thoughts. Let me know what other characters you'd probably argue to go up or down. Would love to hear your thoughts. I always put in community feedback into this list because this is always a community initiative. Like if you did enjoy the video, comment down below. Be sure to subscribe so you're not missing a thing. Support the Empire. And I'll see all you lovely people in the next video. Peace out, everyone.